So we are doing some little personal projects here. I have been working on this shelf. Yeah, a shelf. I've been building a shelf for some of my collectibles, and the theme is Godzilla. So I actually had another video planned and lined up of like me like just kind of like editing these like stencils, but I just didn't feel like there was much there to do. I mean, it took me a while. It's technically like a 20-minute video, but like it's mostly just me going in Photoshop and just like making these somewhat adjustable looking so I can like edit. And I don't know, I wasn't vibing with it. Also like I had to like really dive deep to like find some kind of like art that was usable to like make stencils out of, and it's just like I don't know, I just wasn't feeling it. But this one specifically, those stencils I actually have done. The shells are actually done and built, and I might add a picture here in a minute. But my thing with it was that all those older stencils I use, I basically printed them out on a piece of like cardstock or Bristol board, and then I cut them out myself with an X-Acto knife, and that took a while. But this last one, the Jet Jaguar one was a little more mechanical, and I do have access to a Cricut. It's not mine, but I do have access to one. And I was like, well, I got the offer. Like, let's see if we can like get this in the Cricut, and make this last stencil a bit easier for me. And so I was like, let's try test it out with the Jet Jaguar one since this is the more like line design. So this is an image taken from like one of the Godzilla anniversary like artworks or whatever. And so I'm yeah, basically just going in Photoshop and like making it like more of a stencil, and then you take it to Illustrator, make it to like an SVG file, and yeah, I actually don't know how to use Illustrator that well. I mean, when I was like in high school, I took a class and I was like a pro at Illustrator, almost better than Photoshop actually, and I learned how to use it so well. Since then, I rarely use it. I pretty much only use it when I need to make something like an SGV file, which then at that point I just image trace it, and like we're pretty much good to go. And like that's usually how I do all my SVG files. If someone needs to convert, if someone needs to like, hey, I need you to convert this for me, then I will. So yeah, that's been a thing. I actually just thought about that. Maybe I can sell that service to people. Like, hey, I can convert your files to SVGs if you really want me to. So maybe I might do that. I don't know. Finding income nowadays has been a real task and a half. I feel like nowadays we just need to have like 50 jobs, but it's fine. Once my meme pages kick off, I'll be good. But so I hope everyone's excited though. Speaking of yeah, I feel like when I first started these like Photoshop videos, I I heavily like talked about Photoshop a lot, and now I just kind of talk about life. But I hope everyone's excited for the new Godzilla X Kong movie coming out next week. Is next Thursday. I'm like super excited. I got my Cavity Color shirt. If you don't know Cavity Colors, I hope they should sponsor me because I buy all their shirts. The amount of money I've poured into Cavity Color like Godzilla shirts is ridiculous. I mean, there was like one merch drop where I spent like almost $200-$300. Although I've slowed down a little bit because the funds are a bit low at the moment. But I enjoy all their shirts. Like I have like a wall of their attire. Like I'm literally sitting next to it because I just have so many, and I kind of like to display them because they're almost like pieces of artwork themselves. I mean, they are actually. But besides all that, I'm excited for the movie. I'm excited for all the hype around it. It's gonna be crazy. I think it's gonna bring me back to like that Showa era Godzilla, you know, time when I was a kid and I enjoyed the just monsters fighting. -1 was great. It's time for the dessert. You know what I mean? I also love the interview of the Adam and -1 director. They're them talking. It's like so wholesome because you can see that they're like both kind of like excited talking about each other's projects. It's like no, yours is great. No, yours is great, and it's like pretty cute. Oh, and also Godzilla won an Oscar. That was wild. My favorite part of that whole thing is when Arnold was like the way he pronounced Godzilla was like super funny. Like
Godzilla.
it's just is great. And so with that, I enjoyed all this Godzilla hype right now, and I'm excited for the movie next week, and I just can't wait. I hope it's gonna be a good time. I think I'm gonna enjoy myself. I got my IMAX tickets. The theater has heated seats. Give me little snackies, little icy. I think the I think the theater I'm going to, they sell like little tiny like Pizza Hut pizzas. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be a great time. So I'm enjoying that. On the other side note, yeah, I'm building a shelf. I don't even think. Yeah, I'm making stencils to spray paint on the shelf. That's what I'm doing basically. Yeah. Anyway, but any other Godzilla news? Not really. I mean, I did my last Showa Godzilla ranking video. I actually haven't even checked the stats on that. I don't think it even did whatever. I don't get many views, but I it's funny. I think about that video because of like some of the things I said in there. I'm like, sheesh. That reminds me. I saw a guy on TikTok talking about like he was ranking all the Godzilla films, and like the first one he put was as like the worst one was like All Monsters Attack, Godzilla's Revenge, or whatever. And I was like, no. I was like, this. Am I the only one who understands? I stand by that movie, and I still stand by that movie. And I think and he put like Son of Godzilla like as like the third worst, and I'm like, what? That's such a fun one. But I know me, like when I said and I said this in my Showa video, that I'm extremely biased. I know that. Like Son of Godzilla is just a very nostalgic movie for me. So I know that I like it because of that. But I will say All Monsters Attack, I did not watch that until I was older. And when I first watched it, I was like, this is garbage. But then like the second time watching it, I was like, I was a couple years have passed by. I'm a bit older, and I watched it with some other people. And after watching it, and we've been chronologically going through all the Godzilla movies, and I know I've already seen them, but they have it. And I just remember like, this is good. We enjoyed it. We had fun with it. It's not for everybody, but it's for the kids. Anyways, here's what the stencil gonna be looking like.
Jet Jaguar, Jet Jaguar, yatta the Jaguar.